Yeah, this is hilarious. I had a concert last night, and it's just been a forced myself to go to the gym. Oh, I've got time. I've got time. I pop in the
I'm so
door and looked at, and I had a
sorry.
notification for the Zoom thing starting. I was like, so
No.
this is hilarious. Oh my God, who's that? Who have we
Oh,
got?
I've got four. It's a bit silly. I've got four dogs, and because I'm home today, which they're like, yay! They're all over the shop. Sorry, they're just doing their own thing.
I love that. No, no, I have a golden. I have a movable camera now. Look at this. There's a Goldie.
Oh,
Fast
so
asleep on my
cute.
floor. My
Yeah,
favorite breed of dog in the world. I just think
yeah.
they're amazing.
They
Now,
are beautiful.
hilariously, this is how I budgeted my day. I was going to go home at 10 and then knock out interview questions at 10:30. Now, hilariously, because I'm already obviously very familiar with you, so for a bit of background on me, I've been spent 11 years in the army, got out at the start of last year. And one of the people, I got back into music journalism in 2020 because, well, we were stuck at home and bored. And one of
Mm.
the people who I became mates with was Anthony,
Of
and
course.
became huge for it because we bonded over the fact of military service and the fact that we're
Yeah,
both
yeah.
crazy. And so, yeah, that's how I became a huge fan. But obviously, my children were raised on your era of Wiggles. So I actually,
No
yeah, we
way.
saw you at Eaton's Hill in 2019 with my
Yeah.
daughter in full Emma outfit. She thought you were
No.
fantastic. I'm kind of shattered she's at school because it would have been great,
Yeah.
great to introduce her. So, look, mate, in a way of kind of explaining yourself, because I read one interview you did with the Tasmanian publication about the Memma era and everything. So why don't, for people who are just, seeing this thumbnail and going, hang on, I know her, but maybe they aren't familiar. Let's talk about life post Wiggle.
For sure. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a great place to start and remind me to come back to the Navy as a separate tangent in
Ooh,
a minute.
all right.
But yes, I think we should talk about it. But look, quite similarly changed my pathway during the pandemic. I was already studying my PhD while I was at the Wiggles, and
Hmm.
that actually led me to dive deeper into sign language integration, which is something that I grew up with because I had deaf friends as a child in primary
Hmm.
school. And so at that time we had no tutoring, and I just thought that maybe this is the time that I should finish that research. And it was obviously becoming very busy with
Mm,
a PhD. And my mentor was like, I think your research is important for that school of research at this time. So I ended up leaving the Wiggles to do that. And then Emma Memma was born through that. So essentially it was trying to find how could we integrate sign language more creatively with music and dance and film editing. And so it kind of has combined all of my loves and passions together. And so MMM is a children's entertainment venture which explores how to integrate sign language seamlessly. So it's not like a didactic show or performance situation where we're teaching sign language. That's not
yeah.
what it's about. But it's about using sign language principles to inform things that we do, moving and choreography, so that children have multiple communication pathways within the show. It's quite nuanced, and this is like only if you look quite deeply in MMM. Everyone else is like, it's a children's show, but actually is based on sign language principles, which not that many people know. But that's the reason why.
Yeah. Well, I'll thank you for your answer. Is that so the
Thank
one thing I know?
you. That's good. Where did you learn that?
Because we were, so my wife worked in disabilities for 10 years.
Oh,
Uh,
there you
and
go.
bizarrely, it was at a Woolworths, and there was a woman there with a little badge on. She was doing the grocery saying, I'm hearing impaired.
Wow.
And I saw she did that gesture afterwards, and Ree told me what it was. And I was like, that's really beautiful. And I remembered it. And I was like, I'm going to show that off at the end of the interview and really impress Emma, but I'll forget. So I'm glad.
You've done it. You've done it now. You've done it. You've done
Yeah, crushed it. Mate,
it.
so you're talking about, studying a PhD workload while also you would be in the giant moving beast that is the Wiggles,
Yeah,
doing
that's
sometimes what, 4 shows a day. Like,
Yeah.
I'm tired just thinking about it.
It was so busy. And, that's essentially that's the reason why I made the call to jump to a new chapter, because it was a time where we weren't touring, and then I could really focus on the PhD. And that's when I thought, well, if I've got the opportunity, and I was so grateful for the chapter that I had with the Wiggles. I was there for 12 years. So, I felt like, wow, I've accomplished so much. Now I've got an opportunity to finish a research project, which means a lot to me and hopefully to other families. And I thought, okay, I'm going to have to do this chapter now. And so, yes, then I didn't have to juggle that workload twice. Essentially, I was doing it for a long time, but it felt like the right time to focus on the PhD, which is now done. So I graduated last year.
Yeah. So you are now Dr. Emma Watkins?
I am.
Hey, love
Hey!
that. Show off. That so you'll be able to do it when someone's having a heart attack on a plane. They'll be like, "Do we have a doctor?" And you'll be like,
Oh, I know, and I feel terrible. I have my first aid training, but apart from that, I can't really help out, but I will always in a situation.
yeah. Mate, I look, you did 12 years in that huge institution. And of all the other people who have put in massive shifts with the Wiggles, no one else. Now, look, we are not new idea. We're not a gossip mag. Talk about whatever you want and as little as you want. But you also managed to marry and then go through a divorce while still doing that. Like, that's huge.
And look, if it wasn't Lockie, like Lockie and I are best mates. So, we realized that we were basically friends.
Mm,
It wasn't like this huge upheaval, which people probably thought it was. And I think
mm.
that's why during all that time, everyone was like trying to make drama. And Lockie and I were like,
There's nothing here. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. The thing is, I was so grateful that Lockie and I were such close friends. Like, he's the first person that I met on my very first day at the company,
Mm,
on the Dorothy the Dinosaur show. So we actually went through all of that together. And thankfully we had each other.
mm.
I essentially spent my whole 20s at the Wiggles, and it was like a full, like, co- you know, college experience. Like, it's your apprenticeship. I learned
Yeah.
everything about performing for families, in Australia and overseas, and how to tour with people. Like, there was so much learning
Mm.
from it. And yeah, essentially I kind of call that my Wiggles University. That was like the university degree. That was my undergrad.
Yeah.
Did that, and then did the PhD on the side.
And I love that, yeah, that everything was seems to be so amicable because yeah, he's such a nice guy. But also I just to check before I texted Anthony yesterday and I went, I'm interviewing Memma tomorrow. Is there anything I should avoid? And he just goes, no, mate, enjoy it. She's right. I was like, I
I
love the
think
Wiggles. I'm not upsetting any apple carts, just check.
But it's amazing that, for Australia, we have such a pool of children's entertainers and children's performers that are so invested in this space. And
Mm,
when you're in the world of children's entertainment, it's actually so nice. Like, that everyone, not just in Australia, but overseas, when you meet other children's performers, you're there to support each other,
mm.
because that's the nature of that industry. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny, even characters that might drive parents wild. I can look at from an outside point of view and say, like, look, Blippy might drive some parents mental, but I reckon I just always got the impression that he's an absolutely lovely human being.
He is, like, obviously I've not actually met properly the
Yeah.
first, the original Blippi, but Clayton, who plays the current Blippi, predominantly, he is one of, I would say, out of all, and despite whether people like Blippi or not,
Mm,
he is one of the most amazing children's performers I've ever met. He
mm,
is 100% in that character, and he would give his time of day to any child. And
mm,
ever since I've met him, I've been changed from that experience, because
uh,
he's so there. He's so there for the children. Yeah.
uh,
Despite
we-
whatever the show obviously is busy and it's
yeah,
crazy,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's not for
I,
every child, but Blippi, as in Clayton himself, is lovely.
Another one who I think is just fantastic is Jimmy Giggle, though I don't know if he still does that.
Yeah,
He's a comedian.
he doesn't. He
You forget his
doesn't.
but what I
But
loved is when the kids were all very wiggly, but before obviously I knew any of you, we took them to Dreamworld, and
yeah.
Jimmy Giggle was there doing an appearance, and we were like, "Oh, kids, we'll go see it." My daughter was very young at the time, and we went up and saw this massive line for it. I'm like, "Oh, sweetie." She's like under two. Patience is like, "Oh, this is going to be rough." Turned around and it was like, "Hey, let's go see the lions." As we're going towards the lions, Jimmy Giggle in full outfit is walking down there with his mate, having a very grown-up conversation. Blah, 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 blah. As soon as he sees Abby, he's like, blah, 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 blah. "Oh, he got it. High five." Like, "Jimmy,
He's
thank you."
lovely. And I think because he has kids too, like he totally understands it. But I feel very inspired by Jimmy Reese, like the fact that he's been able to change his career, at a time where he was only seen as a children's entertainer and then used the pandemic as a testing ground for his comedic work. Like
Yeah.
he has done amazingly well to understand his audience.
Yes.
And yeah, he's a legend, a legend.
And he's managed to get that because he knows his audience, so he keeps it a
Yes.
little bit suggestive, but no, he
Yeah.
never swears or anything,
Doesn't
so that
go.
he can,
Yeah.
yeah, so he's
Yeah.
got that maximum Instagram reel ability, and I will
Yeah.
get sent. I will wake up sometimes. I know if my wife couldn't sleep at night because I'll wake up and there'll be like 5 different bloody reels of Jimmy Reese that I feel
My,
obligated to watch.
my mother-in-law sends them to me. She loves Jimmy. She sends, that's the only thing she sends me on Facebook is Jimmy Reese reels.
Yeah, he's tapped into the mum and grandma
Yeah.
market very well,
Yeah.
very smart. So hey,
Yeah.
let's talk about the Navy. What
Yes. So I think, I mean, and like obviously nobody really thinks about these kinds of things, but we, on the Emma tour, we have a cast of dancers and performers that, we've either known for a few years or, have auditioned for us. It's kind of a collection of people. And over the last couple of years, we've worked with not just amazing professional dancers, but also dancers that are children across the country. So actually on our Jungle Picnic tour, and even last year, we had local dancers come to perform with us, under the age of 14, to, almost like essentially give it a go. And they actually had their chance to experience a live audience in a way that wasn't like a dance concert for them, which has been beautiful. So we've had children come to dance with us. But in our main crew, which we like to call the Memma mates, one of our dancers is currently in the Navy. And she actually was a champion Irish dancer. And no, sorry, that's my dog. It's of course has to be at this point. Is this
Oh, hello.
she essentially, the Navy has been such an interesting environment for her because she is a champion. She has a champion mindset. She's become an amazing asset for the Navy because
Yeah.
she's disciplined, teamwork, like she's so sorted. And the Navy and Memma have been, working out together how we can, what's the right word? I guess feature her as an elite athlete. So the Navy and like the Army has a program where some people actually do elite sport, and
Mm.
they've never ever had anyone do elite performing arts. So we actually get loaned out this amazing
Right.
performer who's in the Navy, and she actually tours with us throughout the year. So that's my
Wow.
connection.
It's funny when as I said, I spent 11 years in there, and if I give anyone advice, it's, mate, if you play a sport, it's a good way. You will get out of so much crap in the
We're not
army.
trying we're not trying to get her out of her training, but
But you
I just
have.
but I just think it's amazing that, over the conversations we've had, it's been great that the Navy have recognized that performing arts is an elite
Mm.
sport. And she is their very first test case. And we've been absolutely blessed that we've been able to borrow her for times throughout the year so that she can perform with us.
That's incredible.
I
I Yeah,
know.
and I'm it's good that you're getting a good result and that they're
Yes.
being proactive about it, because a lot of people, that I knew, that have had to give up sports careers and
Of
whatnot because
course, yeah.
it doesn't get
Of course.
encouraged. Yeah, so that's awesome. Um,
Yeah.
so we talked about you work with ASL. I wonder, obviously, you were known for your ballet work.
Mm.
You're the reason I know Parallex or whatever that word is.
Beautiful.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, my daughter's name is Abby or Abigail. Your song, EMMA, is how we taught her how to spell ABBY.
ABBY. Perfect.
Yeah,
I hear that
so
a lot, which is good.
um, tell me a bit about your ballet stuff because the impression I get from what I see, I see photos of ballerinas' feet and things like that. It's pretty brutal on your body. How many
Mm.
toenails have you sacrificed to the ballet gods?
One. Only
Only
one.
one.
Only one. That was actually during my time at the Wiggles because we were doing a lot of ballet in the show at that time. But yeah, look, being a dancer and like right now, at the age of how old am I? 36. 36. Dancers don't have a career necessarily in a professional sense beyond a certain age because of the physicality of dance, and that is dependent on types of dance. People that do social ballroom dancing, yeah, there's less strain sometimes, so they can dance, of course, till they're 90, which is definitely where I need to go and do class.
Yeah.
But I have been pretty lucky. I haven't had too many injuries. I had one terrible one in school, where it meant that I couldn't do my ballet properly from that point on. However, ballet became a very big part of my identity with the Wiggles. And obviously I could do it in a basic sense on the show, which was perfect for my age group. So I'm very grateful that I had that training. But last year I broke my foot.
Mm.
And I was in a moon boot and I had a knee scooter on the tour. So I did a whole 6 months in, in a moon boot, which was at the beginning, I thought, how are we going to do this? And I didn't want to cancel the tour because we had so many parents writing, please do not
Yeah.
cancel. We can't, we just can't deal with having to tell our children
Mm.
about that. So we pushed on. And to be honest, it was one of the best tours because we had so much feedback from families with children in wheelchairs or using an assistive device that when they saw me zooming around on my scooter with
Yeah.
the knee scooter thing, they were like, that meant that my child could feel like, if Emma can do it, then I can do it. And like I
Oh,
obviously only had my support situations for a short period of time, but yeah, you get a glimpse into what some of those families need to support their children as well.
oh, that's beautiful, man.
Mm.
I wonder, like, obviously, you came from the Wheels, which is this massive organization. What were the challenges, I guess, of it's not like you were starting over. Obviously, you had name, you have the brand of your name and whatnot, and people already know who you are. But I mean, I feel like it must have been a big change going from, this massive Wiggles budget to, putting on your
Nothing.
own show and which you might have had to
Choose.
fund yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's been the challenge and the blessing of having your own business. The challenge was everything. And you're right, even though people knew who I was, that doesn't mean that they're going to come to an MMA show. It just doesn't.
Mm,
And so over the last, 4 or 5 years, we've been building a brand with the tiniest team of life.
mm,
And I know people laugh when I say this, but it's a startup. It's a
mm.
startup business for a brand that nobody knows about. And
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
for us, we're not on mainstream TV. The
Mm,
only way that people access MMA and the majority is through our music. And so our music brings people in. We do have a range of content on YouTube and social media, YouTube Kids, of course.
mm,
But actually, apart from that, we don't have anything else at this stage, even though that's our dream and our goal is to bring it onto, a broadcaster. We still find our challenges to be able to bring something fantastic, especially when we've invested so much in the live show.
mm.
So yeah, people think we've got it made. We genuinely have it's been a struggle since day one. And not because we have set it out to be something commercial. It's that it came from a PhD research project and it was pure research. And now we're trying to figure out, what kind of, what are our goals as an organization? Of course, most of the time is to provide accessible entertainment for families. And then how do we sustain a living doing this and bringing this to more people? Because we thought if it didn't work over a year, we would shut it down. And then at the end of the year, we still had people wanting us, people like, do not stop, don't stop. And you're like, oh gosh.
Yeah.
And then continued on. So this is our 5th year for Memma. And yeah, as everyone that owns a small business would understand those pressures. But yeah, we started from scratch.
Have you had anything to do with a duo called Teeny Tiny Stevies?
We love them.
Yes. Their track, they had a song that I actually had on one of my playlists because I thought it was so beautiful, called Family. It was just about family, and it's just about all, you might not have a mum and dad, you might have a mum and an uncle, or whoever, and it was just about all the different ways that that households can be. And I absolutely fell in love, and I've actually interviewed them for Sense. So
They're so nice.
Yeah.
They're so nice.
Yeah, you guys would do a wonderful collaboration on something, I reckon.
I know we do talk about it a lot. Beth and Bill, they always write to me because we're both on tour. We're never in the same spot, but I did see them at the ARIAs last year, and they're some of the people that are in this particular space where again they completely understand children's entertainment and what it means to do live performance, and they've had their challenges as well, live touring and distributing music. And I actually love, the other day they posted the most hilarious tour post, because as we all do, and we all talk, that's the thing, all the children's performers are like, when are you going on tour, when are you going on tour, so we can try and spread ourselves out. They did a post where they said, here's our tour dates. We don't normally encourage this, but please complain as much as you like about the places we can't go to. And I wrote, I was like, yes. Yes, because the thing is, I think for a lot of people, it's not that we can't go everywhere. It's that genuinely some of the venues are booked. And the logistics of trying to put on a tour are nightmarish at times. And so it was a really, I guess, transparent insight into what live touring means in Australia. And yeah, I hope that some parents get a laugh out of that. But yeah, wow, what a time.
Oh, mate, this has been rad. Thank you. It's been wonderful to get to meet you.
You too.
Yeah. Look, I think you are a really, really positive role model to a lot of women growing up in this industry, and a lot of not just little girls. I think grown-ups as well could learn a lot from what you do. So yeah, mate, well done on everything. And
Thank you so
yeah, this is beautiful. So thank you very much.
much. I appreciate it. And if you need anything, if you want any of the music tracks or anything to help, we can't wait to share it with everyone. It's been very well received in the last week, so that's all we can ask for.
Awesome. All right, mate. Be good to yourself. Talk to you soon.
See you,
Have a
Tom.
great day.
Bye. See you.